Welcome to the channel if it's your first time here, and welcome back if it's not. Now in today's video we're going to be having a look at this. And this is the Kingbolen K8 Elite. Now if you're a long-term viewer of this channel you might recognise the name Kingbolen because I've actually looked at one of their products before. And I will stick a link to that video up in the corner of the screen. But what is the K8 Elite? Well, why don't I get it out and we can have a little look. First off, I love things that come in their own storage case. It means I don't have to find a thing to store it in to keep it safe. So if you hadn't guessed it already, this is a diagnostic tool for your car. It's essentially an OBD2 reader, but it's so much more than that. Let's just get everything out of the case. So it's called the K8 because it's a tablet with an 8-inch screen. So let's just have a quick look around this. So on the top here, we've got a USB-C port, we've got a USB-A port, we've got a D-type plug, which our lead will plug into, that plugs into the OBD2 port. We've got a power switch, and not much else around it, but on the back of it, we've got a camera. You can take pictures of the issue in the car. I think it's got a speaker there, and this is a little kickstand, so you can have this standing up. Now, before we look at the rest of what came with it, I suppose I should tell you a bit about what this does. So this will work with pretty much any car that has an OBD2 port. Now, the thing is, what you can do with it will vary dramatically depending on what make and model of car you have. So on a simple level, this works as an OBD2 code reader, but it just does so much more than that. Now, obviously, cars are getting more and more complicated, and it's going to get to a point in the future where you won't just be able to sort of tinker around and change things. You'll have to reset and go through set procedures in the car's software, and something like this will really help with that. Now this has got 42 reset functions on here, so you can reset the oil level, you can do an ABS bleeding function, you can do DPF regeneration, you can reset your tyre pressure management system, you can code injectors with this, you can code batteries as well with this. There's a lot of things that it can do. Now obviously in this video I can't show you every single thing it does. This is going to be a very brief overview of how it looks, how it works, and some of the features. And then in a bit we'll go out to either mine or Vicky's car and have a little poke around and see what it can do on screen. And because this is bi-directional, you can do a lot of things in real time. So you'll be able to sort of test things in real time. You can essentially press a button and turn something on and see if it's working. And you can do sort of standard things as well, like you can read live data. So if you want to know exactly what your O2 sensor is saying, this will tell you. If you want to know the battery voltage, this will tell you. If you want to know the temperature of your coolant, this will tell you. And it does it all in real time. So you can actually find out a lot of information about your car as it's running, and that will help you pinpoint specific faults. And what's really cool about this is it comes with lifetime updates. So once you've paid the sort of circa £500 that this unit costs, it's not cheap, but you do get lifetime software updates, which means as new cars come out or as more functions get added, this can be updated, and I'll show you how to update it in a mo. So yes, this costs around about £500. If you look on Amazon, there's quite often deals on for it. Currently, it's on for sort of £450. So yeah, it is a lot of money, and it's probably designed for the sort of higher end DIY mechanic, but you'd be able to use this on a whole range of cars, so you could help out your family and friends with their car issues and not have to pay a garage for diagnosis, and you might even be able to fix some things yourself. So let's just have a look at what else we got in the case. So yes, this is the part that will plug into the OBD2 port on your car, and then this plugs into the top of the unit right there. It also comes with a USB charger. Now this will get power from the car when you're plugged into it, and if you want to use it when it's out of the car, like we'll be doing in a second, you can just charge it up. You can have it powered by the 12,600 milliamp hour battery that's inside of this. So while we're talking about the insides of this, this actually supports 2.4G and 5G Wi-Fi. So you'll be able to download the updates to this really quickly with the 5G Wi-Fi. I think it's got 4 gigabytes of RAM and 64 gigabytes of storage. And behind it is an Android operating system. But yeah, if you want to power it offline, we've got a nice handy USB to USB-C cable there and a charger there, and it comes with different adapters depending on which country you're in. So here we've got the user manual with a range of different languages. It's a very basic user manual, but there are user manuals and details and videos on how to use this actually on the device as well. So it doesn't need to be too in-depth. And yeah, we've also got a packing list, which I've mostly covered. Right, let's see if this has got any charge. Right, okay, so we want the English language. It wants to join my Wi-Fi. I'm going to have to cover this bit of the proceedings. Okay, so now we've done the Wi-Fi. It's asking for our time zone. So we are Europe, London. Okay, read all those. Okay, so I need to register with the service. So I will do this off camera. Now I've registered, I need to put in the activation code. Again, you can't see that. And there we go. There's already a software update. Yeah, it's obviously just going through and updating the software. Okay, well let it update the software because I think it's might reboot itself a few times, and we'll come back after the software's updated. So now it's updated the sort of system software. It's got updates for pretty much every make and model of car going. So I think I'm going to leave this doing. I mean, it's going very quickly. That's probably the 5G Wi-Fi. But yeah, let's leave this to do all the updating, and then we can have a little poke around the software. And I might even be able to get it so I can show you the screen a little bit better than just filming it. We shall see. It did 230 upgrades, which is mad. So yeah, there's a lot of software in this. So I should have it so you can actually see the screen properly. I don't know how good the quality of the screen recording is. So if we have a little look at Diagnosis, now it lists all the different models that you can work on. So let's go into Renault, because I've got a Renault. It explains what can be done with Renault vehicles. Now, obviously, this is sort of showing the maximum you can do with a car. Obviously, if this can program a module, but your car doesn't have it, then you won't be able to program that module. But yeah, so you can see the functions that are covered for Renault. So you can do injector coding, DPF filter regeneration, throttle matching, idle programming, ECU flash. We won't do that. There's so much stuff you can do here. So if we then go and look at Audi, because Vicky's got an Audi, we can have a little look and see what we'll be able to do. So yes, there's special functions for certain systems. Change mileage and read matching key password. Okay, wow. Now that's interesting that it does service/fuel light reset and setup. Now Vicky's car went for a brake fluid change because it needed a brake fluid change service, and the garage didn't actually reset the setting for that. They did the work, but yeah, they just didn't reset the computer. So we might be able to do that with this tool. That would be quite helpful. To save driving it back to the garage just for them to plug it in with their tool. So that might be helpful. I'll tell you what, let's have a look at BMW. Maybe you can get them to turn the indicators on. All the BMW people are going to hate me in the comments now, right? Yeah, you can do a lot with the BMWs. Wow, all the things. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah, and it's got VINs set up for it from up to November 2024. So yeah, it's really cool that they keep updating the software. I'll show you properly how you connect to the car and everything once we're in the car, but we'll just have a little look around the sort of interface. So we can go into maintenance. Guess these will be some of the 42 different resets you can do. That's pretty cool. So it might be that you have a car that you need to tell it that you put on some new brake pads, so you can do a brake pad reset. So if we go into module, you can actually connect different modules to this device. So there's a printer, so you can print out reports directly from this. There's a video scope. There's an oscilloscope attachment. There's a Bluetooth battery clip, so you can do some battery testing. And there's also an additional module, so you can do more granular testing of the tyre pressure monitoring systems. So because you have to go close to them with a sort of handheld device, and you'll be able to link it all up with this. So yeah, you can expand this should you wish to. File is just all the files that are on the device, because I think you can generate PDF reports of your car. Maybe I'll do one of those later on. Repair info. So it's got a Chrome web browser built in. So if you're out in your car and you want to Google something, you can with the inbuilt browser. It's got a library of the fault codes that an OBD could throw up. We can go into the camera. There we go. We can take pictures in the car should we wish to. It's got the user manual for this in there. Learning materials. So I think this guides you through test material here, so you can see what it actually looks like if you wanted to do this diagnosis. It's actually got remote assistance through the Quick Support app. So essentially someone more technical could actually dial into this and control it when it's plugged into your car and do the operations whilst guiding you through them on the phone. And that's sort of baked directly into this, which is super smart. And then we've just got the settings, which have got a few different bits and pieces. So I think if your car is a Renault or Dacia and you need to get into the gateway, you can pay Kingbolen and get a code to unlock the gateway and get into that system. That's something that happens a lot on newer cars. They're sort of locked down, so you can't poke around too much. But with a Renault and Dacia, if it's got a gateway and you need to get into it, you can buy a license from Kingbolen and get into it. And you can also put in information about your business. So if you're buying this as a business and you want to make reports for people, you can add a picture or your company logo and the address and your phone number. So when you generate that report, so it makes it look a little bit more professional. We can't do the intelligent diagnosis because that needs to be plugged into your car. And basically, I think that just does it all for you. So instead of in diagnosis where you need to put what brand of car you've got and read the VIN, intelligence diagnosis will just do it all for you automatically. We'll do an intelligent diagnosis when we're in the car. Speaking of which, I think I've covered pretty much everything on here that we can before we go out to the car. So maybe let's go out to the car and see what it does and how it works. So back in a second. So I've come out to Vicky's car and we can have a little look. I plugged this into the OBD2 port. It's sort of located under the headlight switch in this car. They're located in different places in different cars. When I go into my car, I'll show you where mine is. But yeah, it really depends on the make and model where your OBD2 port will be. So we're plugged in and hopefully you can see my screen. So let's go into intelligent diagnosis. So it's scanning the VIN number of Vicky's car. So that will help it work out the make and the model and year. It's a 2019 Audi TT Mark III. And yeah, I think it's worked that out. So let's go into diagnosis. Excellent. Okay, well, let's just do a status report. Oh, apparently we've got to have the hood open. The hood is open. Let's go okay. That's interesting. Didn't know that was a thing. So now it's just going through all the different systems and just scanning for issues. So it's actually scanning really quickly. These tools can sometimes take ages, but it's actually scanning really rapidly here. Oh, okay, so it's actually found a little fault. Let's clear it down. There we go. Fault code is gone. Excelente. Now, I think this code here for the information electronics is where I installed the Apple CarPlay, and I think it's a little bit confused about this. Remote control key 2, voltage too low. I do know about that. We need to put a new battery in the key. Interesting. Okay, let's see what special functions we've got. Yes, you are. Right, let's have a look at some special functions. Ah, reset service. This could be helpful. Let's just do an auto reset. Oh, wow, you can really do a lot here. Wow, there's so many different ways to reset the service. Let's reset the check condition. Oh, wow, the little light's gone out. The brake service guy has gone out. Okay, amazing. That is so cool. And look, we can actually see some of the other operations that we can do with this car. We can get ready for a brake pad change. We can do some air suspension matching. We can bleed the ABS system. Unlock hidden features. Ooh, okay. Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to mess too much because this is Vicky's car at the end of the day. Yeah, I'm not going to mess around too much. But you can see some of the sort of settings you can do. You can calibrate the doors and windows. This is awesome. Okay, well, yeah, the little service light has gone out. So we fixed the thing that the garage didn't fix, which is awesome. I am so pleased about that. That's really, really made my day that we could get rid of that light that the garage forgot to do. But yeah, the thing is with this is just so fast. These newer scanners, especially the more expensive ones from Kingbolen, they are so quick at reading codes and going through settings and stuff. This is smart. I'm really happy. Let's go into my car now and have a bit more of a play, and we'll see if we can do anything a little bit more whizzy. But my car's a little bit older, so it does less whizzy stuff. But we've done something that I wanted, and the inspection light for the brake reset is gone. Perfect. So yeah, let's hop over to my car and we'll have a little bit more of a look. Well, we're in my car now, which is a 2015 Renault Captur, and I've got the device plugged in. And let me just make it so you can see the screen on this. There we go. So if I press Intelligent Diagnosis again, it's just rattling through and working out for itself what the car is. Right, so now I'm just doing a system scan, see what's going on. Interesting. So in the engine control module, preheating unit diagnosis connection, fault alerted via the control unit. That's interesting. So if we press on that, it'll do a little Google search for us. It looks like it could be something with the glow plugs. Interesting. Okay, well, I didn't know that, so this has actually been quite helpful. I've learned something. Right, I'll have to turn the engine off and clear that, but let's just have a little look at all the different systems. So if we go into the engine control module, we can read some live data because the engine is actually running. So let's actually just select all of them. So we've got the accelerator pedal position there. If I press down on the accelerator, excellent. So if I turn on the aircon, that air conditioning compressor thing should flick on. There we go. Wow. So yeah, you can actually pull in live data from the car as it's running, which will help you diagnose any issues. So if we look in the special function menu, we can actually see there's not as many as there were in Vicky's car, but there are sort of functions for replacing the brake pads, learning the steering angle, throttle learning, EGR valve learning, oil reset, DPF regeneration. Interesting. So you can actually regenerate your DPF filter, and this will step you through it. I'm not going to go through and do it because yeah, I don't want to throw loads of exhaust gases out at Vicky, whose office is in the garden behind me. But yeah, if you wanted to, if you had a DPF filter fault, you can just do a regen through this and it will actually make the car go through the entire process, and it explains a little bit about it there. So what I'm going to do is, because of that fault and I want to sort of look into it a little bit further, I'm going to generate a report and skip that bit, but if you're a mechanic you can like add all your details on, and there we go. That's generated a report for me and it's shown the issue, so I will save that. Excellent. And then if I go into file, there we go, we've got the diagnostic report that I just made. So good, so smart, I love this so much. And we'll go in and clear that fault code. Now the thing is about that fault code, I wouldn't have known anything about it because I don't have a check engine light or anything like that on. It's obviously something that could become an issue. So having this information close to hand really is super helpful. Right, so I'm just going to remove that fault code for now. Yeah, there we go. So I've cleared the fault code down for now. But having this really does sort of help know of things that are becoming a problem. So even though the car hasn't screamed and shouted at me that there's an issue, it knows that something is coming up, and having this has helped me find that out before, well, you know, I'm stuck at the side of the road where the car isn't working, so I can take action before it becomes too big a problem. Well, there you go. This has been a really quick overview about what this can do. But the thing is, I'm just scratching the surface. There's a lot that can be done with this guy. It's got so many functions across hundreds, well, thousands of vehicles. So I can't cover it all in this video, but I think it gives you a good overall view of the sort of starting point with this, and also how it can be helpful to someone like me or you, and just someone who owns a car. You can see stuff that's going on that your car isn't telling you about. And you know, if you've got a car, especially like the BMWs that we saw earlier, you can do a hell of a lot of coding and tweaks and changes all through this one device. Now obviously it is quite expensive, but you've got to remember it's a really, really nice unit, and it covers so many vehicles, and it's got lifetime updates. So yeah, you just need to buy this and it will cover probably every car you'll ever own, and your friends and your neighbours and your relatives' cars. So when you think about it like that, it is actually very good value for money. So yeah, I'm happy with this. Not so happy that I've got to buy a set of glow plugs, but I'm happier that I know about it now than later on when it becomes a problem. So, great little unit. Thoroughly recommend it. Cool. So yeah, I don't think I've got anything else to say, so thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, but for now, it's game over.